Hey, this is Jerry Visca, the publisher of Defyeneurs, and welcome to the Influence Project, one of the most inspiring issues of Defyeneurs MAG that we have ever taken on. And man, are we excited, because today we are live with Trish Tonaj of Ancaster, Ontario, Canada, author, coacher, speaker. Super excited. Trish, welcome.
Thank you very much, Jerry. It's really wonderful to spend some time with you today.
I feel the same way, Trish. You know, I'm really excited. I've been pumped for this interview. I love the work that you're doing. I love this new book, Breaking Barriers, which we're going to get into in a little bit. But I want to kick off with this quote that you share. It goes like this: innovation, collaboration, and inspiration all lead to a positive energy that supports one another on a journey with no barriers. I love that. I think it's what the world needs right now. So, Trish, share with us, why and how do influencers shape our world?
You know, Jerry, that's a really interesting question, because I really do believe that it all sort of starts with a feeling or an idea or a message. And when you start to share that message with enough people who agree with your concept, then it starts to lead to influencing folks. And, you know, it's like that old saying that we've all heard, you know, if you tell two people and they tell two people, the message starts to resonate, and before you know it, collectively, our collective voice will influence change. So it's not really about one person. That's why I use the word collaboration, because I really feel we need to sort of work together to try to help one another do whatever it is we feel we need to do.
I love that. It all starts with an idea and a seed of an idea, and I just think that's fantastic. There's another quote you share, which I think really, really resonates with me, and it goes like this: success or failure is the result of going outside our comfort zone. Share with us, Trish, how have you recently gone out of your comfort zone?
You know, really going out of my comfort zone was even doing this book, because this was a big departure. You know, you put a little bit of yourself out there. You hope that there's other people who are going to resonate with your message. So for me, even starting to write the book and finding the other entrepreneurial women, which I feature in the book, was really going outside my comfort zone. So it actually happened rather quickly and really recently.
Okay, let's stay in that. I think that's fantastic. First of all, I love your title, Breaking Barriers. I think it's an excellent premise. Why this book?
You know, it was really interesting. I attended a seminar at Harvard 2 summers ago, and I was taking a certificate course in mediation and dispute resolution. And there were 47 other people from around the world in the class. And, of course, like every continuing education seminar, you sort of sit, you collaborate, you network, you talk about sort of how you got started. And we started this conversation about mentorship. And you know what? It really led to some really insightful conversations with a bunch of various different people from around the world. And one of the gentlemen there looked at me and he said, you know, Trish, our daughters don't have anyone that really gives them that little bit of inspiration. You know, there's lots of really famous people that have done some really wonderful things, but what about the ordinary person like you and me? And he said, you know, we love the way that you tell stories, and they kind of inspired me to write a book sharing entrepreneurial stories about women, with the hope that in that sort of sharing our stories, we're tying in mentorship and giving somebody else that little bit of inspiration to maybe pursue their own dreams.
I love it. I love mentorship. I love the power of stories to really get a message across. So just staying on the book, where can people get the book? What's the easiest way to order this?
Well, you know, it's available on Chapters, it's available on Amazon, and it's also available on Barnes & Noble. So you can go to any of those locations, either through email or webmail or into the actual stores, and you should be able to pick up a copy.
Okay, so let's get into your intention, Trish, for influencing others. You know, you speak of sharing stories and through mentorship. Share with us, what is that bigger intention?
You know, I would really like to, we live in a very fragmented world right now where there's lots of challenges, and I think people are looking for direction and connection with other folks. When I was doing the research for the book, I really came across a number of different studies that were talking about the whole idea of mentorship and how some people are actually inspired to pursue their dreams just by hearing of someone else's success story. I'm hoping that the ladies that I feature in the book, as well as all of the sort of stories that we share and the conversations that may result from people reading the book, that it'll inspire somebody to pursue their own goals and dreams, whatever they may be.
I love that. I agree with you that we do live in a fragmented world. I often say it's known as the connection age, but it's an age that's more disconnected than ever. this notion of mentorship, which I really admire, how can someone today that's listening, what are some tips to going and finding out and seeking that mentorship? What should they be looking for?
It's really interesting because I think there's kind of three different types of mentors. One is sort of, believe it or not, an informal type of mentor, which may be our parents, when we're really little, teaching us new skills and experiences because they want us to be better people. And then we may move into the work environment where we meet folks who become mentors so that we can hone up our skills in the business world as well as personally and professionally. And then I think there's an inspirational mentor, somebody that maybe we never meet, but they inspire us in some way because they shared their story or we read an article or we saw them on TV. For me, my inspirational mentor was Coco Chanel. So at a very young age, I seemed to resonate with her. I kind of feel she was the very first woman who sort of went beyond her own comfort zone and started a business. And here it was 50 years later, she became internationally recognized. And maybe she was an inspiration to lots of other women who were sort of starting with a small idea and watched it germinate over the years into something really successful.
That's fantastic, Trish. I love that. I love the idea of having an inspirational mentor. Everyone should be seeking that out. So let's stay in that. What's the change that you wish to influence in the world and sort of see ripple out?
I really want people to be empowered by what it is that you do. We spend a lot of time in trying to build an identity or a brand or an image, and I think now more than ever, your own personal brand is becoming more relevant, and you have to sort of tie that and connect that to who you are in terms of what you do for a living. The folks that you connect with, the friends that you have. So I'm really hoping that sharing the stories and the whole idea of mentorship and connecting with people will really give folks an idea to empower and just become the very best person that they can be.
It's very good. I like that, be empowered by what you do. Trish, there's another quote you share here, and it goes like this: when we collaborate, we support and empower each other to succeed. So share with us, what is that energy that you want to see impact multiple generations, future generations?
I think that when we empower one another, we really bring out the best in each other. And I think that the more that we do good, there's one of the ladies in the book, one of the credos for her company is to be good. And I really think the more good that we do, that will think very similar to, you tell two friends and they tell two friends. If we're really good to one another and we try to provide that sort of empowerment to everybody that we meet, then the world's just going to be a better place. And if we try to share stories and help one another through the good times and the bad and the challenges that we may have, then I just think that we'll be able to find that the contribution that we make is expanded tenfold or 100-fold, depending on how many people you come into contact with. And really, at the end of the day, who doesn't want to be part of something really special? And I just think that the more people that we connect with and the more times that we collaborate with one another, that it will really empower us to do really great things. So that's really what I'm hoping that the whole idea of mentorship will do, is that we'll help one another just to be the best people we can be.
Very good. You're a very special influencer, Trish.
I want to
stay on this book a little bit because I find this book very intriguing. I think it's an energy that the world can benefit from getting in their hands. What do you love most about the energy of this work?
It's really very special because I brought 10 very different individuals from very different industries, very different backgrounds. And what's really cool is that we're collaborating with one another. We do strategic planning sessions where we share our goals and objectives for the year so that we can try to help each other succeed. And we're really coming together in really the essence of the book, mentoring each other and collaborating so that we can inspire each other to be better in our individual chosen careers. So, as an example, I have an Olympic athlete, Martha Henderson, who was in the 2008 Beijing Olympics in sailing. And she's now involved in a multi-level marketing company Arbonne, where she's helping other people do really great things. Cool. So she's sort of mentoring a whole other group of folks. We feature a knitwear company. They actually manufacture, design, and retail their own product. and they have 6 stores in Canada, and their business started in Quebec. So we really try to feature folks that are sort of doing something really extraordinary, and yet they're just ordinary folks like you and me.
You seem to resonate, with that whole model, this Defyeneurs model of everyday people doing extraordinary things. Tell me a bit about that.
I just feel that when we see folks that have reached a certain pinnacle in their career, sometimes when we're starting out, we feel that we're never going to be able to attain that level of success. So I really wrote the book on if I can do it, you can do it attitude, so that if you read one of the stories from one of the ladies that are featured in the book and you sort of connect with them, then you get that empowering feeling that, hey, you know what, maybe my idea is not such a bad thing. Maybe I can do that too. And one of the nice things that I've done in the book is at the end of each lady's chapter is their picture with their bio and contact information. So if that particular person really and their story resonates with you, you can reach out to them and contact them directly and maybe have a conversation, and they can perhaps become your mentor. Who knows?
Excellent. Okay, Trish, I have one final question for you. Are you ready? It's a big one.
Okay.
I don't ask this question everyone, but I know you can handle it. So I want you to think about your influence years from now. You and I are no longer part of this earth. We've moved on.
Yep.
How did Trish Tonaj influence others? What will they say? How did she live her life?
That's a really interesting question, because I think that everything that we do is part of our legacy, and I think we write our own biographies by connecting people and ideas and inspiring sort of that goodness in people. So I'm hoping, when somebody's at the end of the day thinking about my career that's, spanned over a number of years, that they'll say that I sort of inspired somebody else to pursue their dreams, and that I was a great connector in connecting people together to help each other out, and that they were empowered by some of the things that I was trying to achieve in the individual communities.
I feel connected, Trish. I love it. Trish Tonaj, pages 30 and 31. I call this profile Innovation with No Barriers. I love it. I love the energy of this book. I love the energy of this profile. On behalf of Defyeneurs and everyday people doing extraordinary things, I want to thank you, Trish, for contributing your amazing influence to this issue of Defyeneurs. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jerry. It's a pleasure spending some time with you.